All right, today, plantar fasciitis, shin splints, anterior posterior, Achilles tendonitis, or basically any pain from your knee to your toes, this video is for you. The layout will be simple. I'm gonna go through the movement, mobility, flexibility, strength, and lifestyle paradigm, how this fits to that injury and your pain, the exercises, why, in my opinion, orthotics suck, and if you have sprained your ankle and you've got pain in the front that comes and goes, the bonus section will be perfect for you. There's a simple massage you can do that will get rid of all of it. All of this is separated by chapters, so go to the section you want. And with that being said, let's get started. All right, so your chronic pain, your injury is coming from 5 things: movement, mobility, strength, flexibility, and lifestyle. So movement is either we do it wrong or we don't do it enough. This is where the orthotics example is going to come in next and why I'm not a big supporter of them. Then we have mobility. Mobility is basically, in my definition, soft tissue work. So a foam roller, a tennis ball, a massage, gua sha, scraping, cupping, anything. If your body reacts ridiculously, then this is an issue. And I'm going to show you a small exercise with that one too, how we can use a foam roller to test that. Now, strength is also, I think, often a misconcept that we don't have enough. It's usually more of an imbalance. So it's like a tug of war contest between Team Navy SEALs and Team Toddlers. That is no fun for anybody. So if one foot, or both feet in this case, actually could be weak due to the fact of the shoes and the orthotics, which I'm going to explain next, then A, we need to maybe not necessarily strengthen the arch, but activate it again. The nice thing about the activation of an exercise or a muscle is we do the same thing that the physio would give you to strengthen the muscle that should be air quotes weak in order to activate it. So we've got movement, mobility, strength, flexibility. We're definitely going into that one with a few stretches because of the shoe, because of the heel raise, because your foot always being in a shortened position, both the arch and the Achilles, for sure there is a shortness. You have to imagine that if my elbow was bent all day, every day for the last how many years, straightening it would be a bit difficult. Well, this is exactly what shoes that we wear always do. In this concept that many people in Europe have a house shoe is even more ridiculous. So we've got movement, mobility, strength, flexibility, and lifestyle. Lifestyle is simple. Do you pop a pill for absolutely everything? Because not only is that just turning off the pain light and allowing you still to do everything that you should not do, but it's also destroying your gut microbiome. So those 5 pillars are everything for chronic pain. Now, it might be 100% flexibility for you, where somebody might be more 20%, 20%, 20%. This is what we need to understand, and this is exactly what my online program, the Unbreakable Dancer for the pro dancers, and the Unbreakable Body for everybody else goes into. These videos are in the ankle pain sprain injury module in the program, which 7 days are for free. You only need an email address, and if you're watching this, I think you probably have one. And you can even join one of the coaching calls on Monday with me. So with no further ado, I'm going to get into the orthotic example of why they are an absolute disaster, and feel free to skip any of this stuff and go straight to the exercises, but I hope to see all of you at least in one coaching call with me where we can talk about what's going specifically on with you and we can fix it. All right, orthotics are a disaster, and this is why. Let's use an example of a cast. Let's say Johnny, Timmy, whoever, breaks his arm and has to stop playing American football, rugby, ice hockey, name a sport from the country you come from, and he's not allowed to play for 3 or 4 weeks. Well, or actually probably even more with a cast, but whatever. If we take the cast off, what does Timmy's arm look like? It looks like a wet noodle compared to the other one. No one under the sun, physical therapist, doctor, mom, dad, coach, would be like, okay, Timmy, go back into football and start blocking people with that wet noodle arm. Never, because it would be injured again. That's because when the arm sits in a cast, it's not sitting with this contraction. No, it's resting in the cast because it needs to heal. Well, if you think of an arch support in this case, what is it doing? It's basically, you know the little wedges you stick under a door so they stay open? That's basically what you're doing to your arch. Your arch wants to fall down, and we just slam a wedge under there so it goes back up. The problem is in this theory, the doctors want to tell us, oh yeah, because it's supporting it, and your arm, your foot, whatever, is also working with the arch and stabilizing itself. There's no way in hell. If I go against this wall and I lean against the wall, and the wall or the door, whatever, opens or moves, I fall on the floor. I'm not using my core to lean against the wall at the same time. Our body does not work like that. It's always being as efficient as it possibly can, and if it can turn off, it will turn off. Well, now insert, arch insert, support, and that's exactly what's happening. We have a muscle, many muscles in our foot that need to learn how to activate, and if we just turn them off, as you're going to see in this next exercise, you can't even turn it back on anymore. So you go to a doctor and he's like, oh, your arch is weak. And then you come to me, or you do this next exercise, and we try to fire your foot and the muscle doesn't turn on. How could it not be weak? You can't even activate the muscle. So this is why when we look at an arch support, oh man, they're a little bit of a disaster. So now what mistakes does everyone make? They're like, oh my God, arch supports are terrible. If I have a heel raise in my shoe that shortens my Achilles, this is a disaster. I'm gonna burn everything and set it all on fire. Yeah, okay. And then you go to a barefoot shoe, a Vibram shoe, whatever, and then your ankle, your heel, your foot, your knee, your nose, your eyes, your elbow, everything catches on fire. Yeah, sure, of course. It was way too much, way too fast. So if you're in some crazy support running motion shoe for 250 euros from Nike, and it's got an that's German, it's got a heel raise like this big, and you've got crazy arch support, and you go to nothing, that's like a heroin addict stopping everything cold turkey. I guess it's not a terrible idea, but it's gonna have crazy side effects. So we need to go slower, because when these people then go back to the doctor's like, yo, I told you so. No, you didn't tell me anything, man. We just went from one extreme to the other, and now we're blaming the correct extreme being wrong. So this is why orthotics are a disaster. However, stopping cold turkey also can be a disaster, especially if it's like grandma or grandpa. It's going to take them even longer to adapt. So this idea that we can't change and we can't do anything is crazy. This idea that we should do it slowly over time. I switch my clients sometimes over 6 months to a year from a disaster shoe to something maybe like a no-bull shoe, which is a little bit more normal, then more towards something like a Vibram or a Groundies, and then you can wear everything. You don't just have to wear one thing. Women, when they dance salsa in my professional program, have beautiful heels on, and my dance shoes also have a heel, but they don't have any arch support. And the idea is, what are we wearing 90% of the time? So in that case, for everybody, an arch support is a disaster. All right, so the first stretch is the Achilles stretch. If you can sit like this, fantastic. If not, no worries. I'm gonna take my left foot due to the camera angle here, and I'm gonna come in line with my knee. So my foot and my knee match. From here, what I wanna do is lean forward to where my heel comes in the air. Now, I call this the thinking man stretch because I like to push diagonally here. So imagine if you had your arm like this on your knee, and you are gonna push diagonally down. This is gonna help stretch this Achilles. You don't have to have your heel on the floor. You can put your heel on the floor. The point is that we feel the stretch. So I obviously don't sit like this. You can if you want. I push here, and I'll put a picture up here where you can also use a kettlebell, which is also very nice, where you just press into this position. So you can see in the other camera, I'm gonna zoom in kind of exactly where my ankle is, because I'm a little guilty too. We want to try to make sure the foot is always straight. And actually, to be honest, you can play with different positions. You can turn your ankle, try not to keep it too much turned in, because that's what the Achilles likes to do when it is tight. So we want to try to keep it straight. And from this position, let me see if you can see it from the back camera, I'm going to change my angle a bit, because you can also then go from here and open up the knee. This is also okay. So from here, I can then lean into the same position. I can have my knee forward like this, which you could see previously better in the other camera, or I can have an open like this. Both are okay. The goal, I'm going to turn back so we can use both cameras here, is I want to feel the stretch in this area right here. And you recognize I can also, with the back of my foot, get two stretches at once with my heel up well, heel up, you would say that, yeah, which will be the next stretch, funny enough, or I can just relax a little bit and keep my foot, I should say, down, and I continue to feel more in this area as I stretch it. I myself usually hold this stretch for about 3 to 5 minutes, and when I had my plantar fasciitis, I was holding it for like 15 minutes at a time. All right, the next stretch is you start sitting like this. I used to call this the moonwalk stretch because I wanted the people to kind of moonwalk back. But something that might make a bit more sense for you is imagine if you were in a rocking chair, or let's say you were going to put your shoes on and tie them. My feet are down, my toes are down, my heels are up. I want to bring my hips back to my heels, but to understand what that means is you can imagine, like, you know, the downward dog in yoga, how you would kind of move your bum to get it closer, to get your back straight, basically. Or if you were in a rocking chair, you can kind of rock back and forth like this. And when you're in this position, you might start to feel a little bit of stretch under your foot. And if you get your heels together, which you see better in the other camera, you start to feel it on the inside of your leg. So kind of the posterior tibialis, this area here, and the flexor hallucis longus is the name of that muscle. And the nice thing is by getting the Achilles, and now getting those posterior muscles, if you want to call it that, and the arch here, you're stretching everything. Now, you can also kind of lean down into it and push yourself back if you want. This position would be kind of you're going down to tie your shoes, so to speak. You get this position in your hips, and if you only feel it breaking your toes, that just means your arch is so incredibly tight that we can't even get this to open up. That's not a problem, but a problem. So we need you just to do this more, and eventually your arch and your posterior tibialis and the flexor hallucis longus will start to release a little bit, and then as you do it, you'll be able to scoot back in this position and really feel the pull in the arch or in the back of those ankles. And you can play with this position, you can move around a little bit like this, and the goal is just to feel the stretch and hold this one again for about 3 to 5 minutes. All right, now if you have sprained your ankle, this is the bonus. This is how we can grab some wax, some massage lotion, some coconut oil, whatever, and we want to work in this area right here, which is going to be, I'm going to really try to zoom in on my, on the second camera, which you can actually see in this video, because I'm going to go 2 places. I'm going to go right in here, so I'm going to just do this in different technique. You can very easily use better technique like this. I want to not be confusing with where I am pushing, so you can really see. So this will be one area here. However, this is not going to be the true hot spot. The true hot spot is going to be right under this malleoli area. Now, this is sometimes a bit tough to do on your own, but doing under your own is better than not doing it at all. And trying to find a friend maybe that can do it for you, because then you can lie down and relax a little bit, is even better. However, what you're going to do is you're going to get some lotion so you don't rub all your skin off. Here is the bone right here called the malleoli. You've got this little pocket area right in here. And if you have sprained your ankle, the anterior talofibular, the ATF we call it, is a ligament that you most likely tore. There's scar tissue there, and if nobody has ever done anything like this, I don't care if you sprained your ankle 15 years ago, it's still there. So as you push in this area, it's probably going to feel a little bit uncomfortable. You can do it in any position you want. I'm going to hold this position just due to the phone, or due to the camera, and I think you can see it better. But you really just want to work in here. If it feels uncomfortable and disgusting, good. That means you're doing something. If you push here and you don't feel anything at all, continue to do it for a little while. See if your ankle feels more loose after. But if it doesn't do anything at all, then obviously you don't need to do it. However, if your ankle feels more loose, or this hurts as you're doing it, it means you have scar tissue there. Scar tissue has a chemical that increases the sensitivity of that area. So that means when you're moving, you're trying to do anything under the sun, dancing, running, jogging, sitting, often you might get this injury pain, air quotes, injury pain. It's no longer an injury. This is just the area you need to work on. So try to massage this area, and if you've never sprained your ankle, most likely this area will be fine. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing it. I just want you to see what I'm doing. You can find a very easy way to hold your own ankle, to work on your own ankle, but release this area and it will do wonders. All right, thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video. If it helped, let me know. If you have questions, let me know. And if you know someone with this injury, send it to them. I've already told you about my online program. All the links are below. I also will put in the video, like I said already here, of the foot exercise, because it would just be too long and too complicated to do it here. So I'll give you guys a video for free. That link will be in the bio. Come join me on a coaching call. Check out my program. If you've got shoulder pain, back pain, elbow pain, it doesn't matter. I'm not some influencer that learned how to fix one thing. I fixed everything and I did it for the pros and I can do it for you. But you need to come and check out the program and come to a coaching call and speak to me about your issues. All the links are below. And of course, if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, you're crazy. Please do so. And I will see you guys next week.